How to deal with the urge to watch porn. Giving up porn is very hard, especially if you don't have the right tool. Hi, I'm Sebastian, your addiction recovery coach, and I have given up porn many months ago. If you want to know the best way to give up porn and to deal with those urges to watch porn, stay till the end. Porn does a lot of bad things to your brain. Porn gets you hooked. You are addicted to pixels. You objectify women much more. Porn is the ultimate objectification of women. Put aside objectification for a while. Porn fries your dopamine receptor. The more you watch porn, the less efficient those D2 dopamine receptors will be. Not only will they be less efficient, there will be fewer numbers because the brain is not used to that sudden rush of dopamine that you get from watching. Porn is equivalent to doing coke, pretty much. So the brain is not used to this type of addiction, that sudden rush of dopamine. So when you are constantly watching porn, you are overflowing those dopamine receptors. And unfortunately, the more you watch porn, the more you want, because those dopamine receptors are here to regulate your mood, regulate your motivation. It's the reward center of the brain. And those dopamine receptors are now fewer in numbers and less efficient. So your brain, to compensate, will release stress hormone. And those stress hormones don't go away. That is why most of the time when you ejaculate, finish watching porn, you feel like shit. You feel more shame, more guilt, and more anxiety. And it also translates in the rest of your day-to-day life. Because you have to understand, those dopamine receptors are not fried just when you finish watching porn. They keep on being fried because you keep on reinforcing their behavior. So they are fried until you give up porn, until you start giving up porn and start regenerating those pressure dopamine receptors. But in the meantime, while you are still watching porn, the rest of your life become more dull. Great. Because those dopamine receptors help you in your day-to-day life. That is why when you have addiction to scrolling, to cocaine, to food, to Netflix, whatever the case might be, any type of addiction will fry those dopamine centers, those dopamine receptors. The rise of your life more shitty, more dull, more gray. You're not able to enjoy your day-to-day, and therefore you're also not able to focus so much. And because you have pain, any pain you might have in your life, any negative emotion you might have in your life, any stress, whether it's induced to watching a lot of porn and those dopamine receptors, right, or just any type of pain that comes from the rest of your life, whatever the case, whatever pain you have, the way you will deal with this is going back to your addiction. In that case, porn. So it's a vicious cycle. The more you do it, the more you have pain, the more you have stress hormone, and the more you want to escape that pain with watching porn. So at first, you watch porn to get that high, to get that pleasure, that joy, the ecstatic joy of coming, and that dopamine in your brain. But the more you do so, the more you will do it not to have pleasure, but to escape that pain, to cope with that pain. That is why it's a vicious cycle. That is why you should give up porn. Because as I said, it's not only that you objectify women much more, but you're also doing yourself a disservice. You're addicted to pixel and you're addicted to watching people have sex on the screen. But your brain and your life will become more dull, more sad, and it can lead to your demise. You can lead you to suicide almost. I mean, not almost. Some people have committed suicide because, and it's not good, obviously, for your relationship. Don't get it twisted. Just because you watch a lot of porn does not make you more of an alpha. Does not make you more virile. Also makes you very important. It also makes you unable an erection and or to sustain it. And I know I've been there. I've struggled with it, and it's not easy. The more you watch porn, the less likely you are to have an erection. And I know what it feels like to have a limp dick. And a lot of it is due also. And that's very important too, for your spiritual side. Most of you might not care, but it doesn't matter. For your spiritual masculine side, maybe you care more than masculine. When you know about the archetype, when you know about the king, warrior, magician, lover archetype, someone who is addicted to is an addicted lover. It's the shadow side of the lover. In order for you to be more of an integrated man, a masculine man, healthy masculine, you need to let go of this lover and let go. You cannot be true masculine, healthy masculine without giving up. I'm telling you, mom, that is giving up is one of the first watch porn for many years, and I given up porn for a year and a half, and I relapsed hard 5 months. So I've been there. I knew what I had because even though I had given up porn, I was still objectifying women and still hooking up with women and still objectifying women and still addicted to my ejaculation, even without porn. But now I have let go. And that is why I can tell you with a very, very certain tone that I will never go back to. You never know, but I'm very sure of myself. The same way I'm sure I will never go back to alcohol because I've given up alcohol many years ago. I'm telling you, if I go back to alcohol and or drugs, it means I'm about to die, pretty much. Anyway, so the way you let go of those urges is when they come up, you do a practice that is very similar, very akin to meditation. It's called the letting go practice from David Hawking, but it's pretty much related to meditation. But you don't just sit down and meditate. When you have an urge to what, you just need to be with it. You need to see that sexual urge, porn urge as a sensation, as a bodily sensation. If you already can see as a bodily sensation, it's much easier because now you can forsake the thought. You don't label it. You think of, oh, what am I going to do? You the best way to do this is to relax your body completely. And when you relax your body completely, you are not tensing. You are not trying to worship sensation. You are not trying to push it away. If you do so, if you try to use willpower and press and suppress it, push that sensation away, are only reinforcing. However, when you relax your body completely, do your very, very best to relax to the mind. When you breathe out, breathe in very deep and breathe out. Take your time with that beautiful breath. You try as as possible. Obviously, you do indulge in what you do, but you just are with that. Forsake the thoughts that come with that sensation. You relax your body, the max, and you just wait, wait. And by relaxing, by being with it, by welcoming, you don't need to welcome it, but at least you accept, you allow it. And when you can be aware of it, it's like seeing something external to you, because in reality, it is external. And when you can see and succeed in being aware of it, you will see, because non-indulgent, and you're not, that urge will just fade of its own accord. And when you relax to the mic like this, breathe in, breathe out, and observe it with no judgment, welcoming it, accept, allowing it to be, it will just fade. And I'm not saying you will not fail by doing so. When you do it a couple times, you know you are powerful enough to do so. And then you understand, your subconscious understand you have tools. And when you do this, you can let go of any, and you can let go of any addiction. It's all you need to do is observe. And again, I'm not saying it's a miracle. It's very close to being a miracle. But you have the discipline. Just need to put some effort, not too much effort, but at least a very effort. Be relaxed, breathing, be right. Stay calm, stay composed, and you will see nothing can resist because you are not resisting anything, and therefore you're allowing it, and therefore it has no grip and no power. And that's it. Try it out. Thank you so much for listening. I'm Sebastian, your addiction recovery coach. Those of you who want to give up sexual in mind and other. Thank you so much for listening. I'll see you very soon. And I'm sure I can help you. Links in the description below. See you soon.